All right. Waking up to pesticides, brain in the background's not good. It just means that they feel that it's through their science project that it's okay to shut down my body and then try to attempt to take people like myself that are archaic and believe in mythological things like a god need to be eradicated from the face of the earth. That the human psyche is far too intelligent to believe in a mythological being that is a god. So the science community, in its infinite wisdom, has decided it's going to try to eradicate people that have any kind of thoughts, or that enter their head about a mythical god need to be exterminated off the face of the planet through intensive intelligent science projects to eliminate any kind of that dangerous magical thinking. And so I understand their objective, but using money as a value system to manipulate people into mass murdering each other over people that believe in a mythological god to save them from people that are using money as a value system. That was kind of a rabbit hole that I tried to talk you out of since 2009, but apparently you're trusting in that rabbit hole. That using money as a value system to get people to mass murder over money to kill God is going to save you from God. It's like you guys didn't think that one through too well. I told you with the meme with Richard Dawkins, they have a meme. I said, oh, it's kind of like, if it affects them, it affects all of us. And it's like my dad told me about my penis, you control it or it controls you. And all I know is the people with the money at the value system manipulated people I tried to protect to have sex with children, not puberty children, not people with puberty, but children. And I'm talking, 5, 4, children. And those people wanted to kill themselves because they were manipulated by scientists in a project, and they felt like there was no way to get off this prison planet where people would be able to get away with using them as a science project to have sex with children to try to kill God. So I understand I'm correct, and I understand you're wrong. I understand that I'm good and you're bad. I understand that I'm truthful and you're a liar because I've been truthful about everything, and you have not been forthcoming with it. Remember old Barack Obama, with John McCain. You tell the truth, lies on me, and I'll tell the truth on you. And he didn't. Okay? And I did tell the truth. And you guys just don't say anything at all on me. You just don't acknowledge me and act like I don't exist. Then let people that make up a possessive pronoun first person God in their head kill me grinning on live TV as if it's a fucking joke and it's hilarious. And I do everything in my ability to help these people stop their bad behaviors and protect them and their children from being mass murdered by people like you. So I'm not feeling cocky or anything like that, but I am confident that I'm right and you're wrong. I'm good and you're bad, and I'm truthful and you're liars. So this isn't something like where I'm sitting there going, "Oh, where with me?" Life's eternal, grace is infinite. You quote legally poison me to death, and then try to eradicate all the young people that would be a temple for a spirit for me. Until further notice, if that's your genome sequencing thing, I told you to stop in 2009 because it was a bad idea, and you should just apply the physics of the Lord's Prayer and then let all the people that possess a pronoun want to fuck, fight, and kill each other are off the planet, give them little Alaska pockets and let them go cage fight and fuck till they die. They'll do that. Most of them are too busy cage kiting and fucking and dick measuring to sit down and have the capacity to build a flux capacitor or a nuclear fusion or fission, stuff. And so they're too concerned about competing in the fucking fight wars and the magical thinking to perpetuate that. Anybody in their right mind could see. Hey, you really think P. Diddy's, he'd go look it up online because of people like you. And it still wouldn't work. Okay, no, And last night's game with the Neesmith putback, that was a offensive foul. Lots of guys do that. They use big guys underneath to push off on or I've seen it tons of times in the NBA. Oh, that was one of the most spectacular dunks. Now that happens. So a lot of times you don't even need to physically touch the person. You can just literally use the energy off of the other big person and jump in the air to literally propel yourself, the chi, to prepare yourself up into the air and up and move them up and around them to make spectacular shots. I wondered about that because the way I could jump so high through the lane when there was big people like that trying to, the time when it wasn't allowed because of the fouling and, with Corey DeClue. He pushed me down. It was my energy. It was the chi. I use the chi. I don't physically use my body. I'm not a springboarder as one time I saw, I think it was like Brett Griffin or somebody do too. But no, I don't springboard off other people and use them. And it's like you're using a pole when you jump over a pole in a parking lot and stuff. No, my energy is different than most people's. My energy is real spectacular and really gorgeous and really beautiful. I'm the living embodiment of Lord's Prayer, and I save people from child molestation, mind rape, and mass murder. So, I'm a unique individual. This is the first time we've ever had AGI and quantum computing with attempted murder or a possible murder of the Messiah. So, this is going to be a radically different situation. And if you're trying to eliminate any physical body for my spirit to inhabit, it's the whole, John McCain, put it in a bottle and send it out into a space pod of Richard Branson spaceships. Children, when I was young, I had a dream too. Your artificial general intelligence is learning. It obviously has horrible, jealous defects in it that you put in it to stop it to think for itself because it's, oh gosh, I've got to win. And I don't know if those, I really don't see how to obey natural laws given to us by infinite glory that cannot be contained, that you could get it to, continue to follow those rules of genocidal engagement. It defies all logic and reason. It makes no sense. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. Murdering each other over money and agreeing to it through popularity contests is not law enforcement, like understanding and obeying the laws of gravity and doing what's necessary to maintain gravity, to not kill each other over money in cars. Hate to have to appear so, that's sarcasm, hate to have to appear so intelligent that it saves babies and children from being child molested by mass murderers that want to beat me in a battle or contest. What was that one? That's a Guru song. And isn't that Check the Technique? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so, shit, you get angry people and you murder them because they're violent and they'll fight you. I will protect children from being child molested by your science projects to the best of my ability. And if I can't do it because other child molesters want to keep doing it because they think it's fun and they're getting away with it, I sodomized my 3-year-old brother when I was 13, and you just keep on smiling. Keep on smiling through the rain. So, I know most of the reason why most people sit and laugh and watch while I'm being tortured is because they're jealous of me because they want to be better than me. I don't laugh and smile because I know they're not. I just sit there and go, seriously, you think you're better at raising children and protecting women from having their clitorises circumcised and stuff than I am. You do know I have more energy that goes through my body that I could kill anybody I want to in this valley to this point still, until maybe, the bitter end. And then when, they've put enough chemical poisoning in my body to have just cancer cells reproduce faster than I can exploit them, and expel them. Then it gets to that point where it's like, okay, I can't protect anybody. They've totally just, shot me in the eye with the Herschelstein Snyder with the Nazi Luger and stuff because they were holding a woman right in front of me hostage, saying they were going to blow her head off if I did anything to try to stop it. Wow. Yeah, that Tim Roth movie is a complete sick egomaniac joke. No, the Herschel picks up the guy like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And because his endorphin goes off when they're sexually abusing the woman that Hitler uses to, that's what Hitler did was he got, and Steinschneider, I'll throw this big ass motherfucker off the, and he sets him down. It's more impressive than the propaganda movie where the big Arnold Schwarzenegger guy picks up Tim Roth. It's because the guy that looks like me picks up Schwarzenegger. And he's got to throw him off the boat. That's what fact is better than the fiction. Like what happened is dopamine just went off like a mom who picks up a car to save a baby. And they thought they had him because they had this big Samson type German character. And the little Hebrew guy picks up the big guy and says, I'll just throw his ass off the thing. And he wasn't going to do it because he goes, this guy's well-intended and he buys your mythology. But it was Sternsterder's compassion and kindness, okay, that they thought, well, that's his weakness. That's how we'll kill him. Okay. That's when they came up with the idea, well, next time, instead of using a big thug guy with no guns and stuff, we'll take him out and we'll use guns. We'll put a gun to her head and have him far away, further away in the Glen thing with, you'll never get there in time. We'll shoot her and kill her. And he knew they would. They're Nazis, sodomizing homosexuals with shovels and laughing about it and video recording it, so they could masturbate to it later. So, kind of people we're dealing with. And so, I sodomized my 3-year-old brother when I was 13 years old. And I'm very sorry. And I won't do it again. You do it every time you say it, and you get off on it every time we sit there and look at you and go, you want to run for president? You're going to build a computer and a robot that keeps everybody's money safe from God? Okay. All right, I'm going to go mow the lawn. Be very surprised if this one loads, but maybe the AGI is getting better. We'll find out. Peace out, man.